What would you do if the darkest corners of the internet revealed a hidden truth too disturbing to ignore? A place where unsolved crimes are whispered about like currency, where chilling videos surface as real footage, but the victims have vanished without a trace. Tonight, we step into the world of the dark web, and it will change how you see the internet forever. The dark web is not some myth. It's real, it's vast, and it's crawling with criminal minds. Behind encrypted networks, disturbing true events play out in silence. No police, no rules, only evidence that slips through digital cracks. And for those who wander too far in, the consequences can be fatal. One of the most chilling stories begins with a man who stumbled onto a forum dedicated to missing persons. He found names, photos, and psychological profiles, none of which had ever been released to the public. These weren't just discussions. They were blueprints of real crimes, written by people who seemed to know every hidden truth. Investigators later confirmed some of those names belonged to people who had truly vanished. Cases still listed as unsolved. The disturbing detail? Some posts included evidence, like fragments of police files, that never should have been online at all. True crime experts believe these forums aren't random. They may be meeting grounds for predators, trading knowledge the way others trade money. The criminal mind thrives in secrecy, and the dark web offers a psychological playground built for silence and shadows. But the horror doesn't stop with text. Real footage has surfaced, grainy, unsettling clips that investigators fear may be authentic crime recordings. Some appear staged, but others? They match details from missing person reports too closely to dismiss. One infamous case involved a video leaked on a hidden site. It showed a bound figure in a basement, pleading, then silence. The next day, a report appeared. A local woman had gone missing under mysterious circumstances. The timing was no coincidence. Forensic analysts tried to trace the video's source, but every lead vanished, encrypted beyond reach. The only thing they confirmed: the background in the video matched an abandoned property across state lines, a property once linked to another violent crime. This wasn't entertainment, it was evidence. Evidence buried so deep, only those willing to risk everything could see it. And yet, police struggled, because collecting proof from the dark web often means stepping into a maze designed to trap intruders. And then came the most haunting discovery of all. Buried in one forum was a list, not of past victims, but of names scheduled for the future. Some of those people are still alive today. But how long until the list turns into reality? Authorities who've encountered these lists describe them as chillingly precise. Names, locations, even daily routines. It's the kind of information only someone close, or someone watching, could know. And that's what makes it so terrifying. One FBI agent admitted off record, the dark web isn't just documenting crimes. It's planning them. These forums become psychological blueprints for predators. Crimes aren't random. They're rehearsed, and the victims never see it coming. The disturbing truth is that many of these sites vanish as quickly as they appear. They leave behind no evidence, only whispers and screenshots. Digital shadows that investigators can't always chase in time. And in that silence, more lives are put at risk. Consider the case of Cannibal Cafe, a now-defunct site buried in hidden networks. It wasn't fiction, it was real. A place where people discussed acts too horrifying to repeat aloud. And tragically, at least one of those conversations ended in murder. That case alone exposed how fantasy on the dark web can cross into reality. One man's disturbing fascination with violence became another man's death sentence. And when authorities traced the evidence back, it was already too late. The victim had been consumed, literally. What's most unsettling is how ordinary the perpetrators often seem. Neighbors, co-workers, people who blend into daily life. Yet online, they're psychological mass drops, and the dark web becomes their confession booth. Experts say this anonymity fuels the criminal mind. It creates a split reality, a harmless exterior in public and a hidden predator online. It's not just disturbing, it's strategic. Because the more invisible the criminal, the harder it becomes to stop them. For victims, there's rarely a chance to fight back. By the time their names surface in these forums, surveillance is already underway. Someone is watching, and someone is waiting. The psychological toll on investigators is severe. They must watch the footage, read the threads, and relive the horrors frame by frame. Some have admitted it haunts them long after they log off. One described it as staring into the abyss, and knowing the abyss is staring back. And yet, the deeper investigators dig, the darker it gets. Because hidden beneath the forums, beyond the evidence of single crimes, lies something worse. A network. A web not just of individuals, but of organized operations. Investigators discovered that many of these forums weren't isolated. They were linked, forming a hidden economy of crime. An economy where human lives, stolen data, and even murder for hire were traded like commodities. And all of it was hidden just a few clicks beneath the surface. One notorious marketplace, Silk Road, gained global attention for drugs and weapons. But far more disturbing were its imitators. Some specialized in trafficking. Others offered services so horrific, law enforcement still refuses to release full details. Behind every listing was a system of trust, encrypted reviews, ratings, payment in cryptocurrency. It worked like Amazon, only instead of books and gadgets, the menu included things that could end lives. The normalization of evil through convenience. Among the darkest was a service investigators call Red Rooms, allegedly live-stream violence for paying audiences. Most experts believe many were scams, but a handful of cases hint at the terrifying possibility that some were real. One investigation in Germany uncovered a site streaming abuse in real time. The viewers weren't just passive, they voted on what should happen next. This wasn't rumor. It was confirmed by Europol during a 2019 takedown operation. The psychological horror of this discovery shook even seasoned investigators. Ordinary people, hiding behind usernames, had funded and encouraged real violence. The evidence wasn't just disturbing. It revealed a hidden truth. Evil doesn't only exist in criminals. Sometimes it thrives in crowds. And the money involved was staggering. Cryptocurrency wallets tied to these sites contained millions. Proof that the demand was not small, not fringe. It was global. Every time one marketplace was shut down, another emerged. Each more encrypted, more difficult to trace. Like a hydra, cut off one head, two more would take its place. And behind them, countless victims remained unseen. One victim's story still haunts investigators today. A teenager who vanished in Eastern Europe. Months later, her belongings surfaced in a dark web auction. The horrifying implication: she had been sold. Authorities tried to trace the buyer, but the account dissolved within hours, leaving nothing but digital smoke. To this day, her case remains unsolved, and her name lingers in missing persons files, another ghost of the dark web. When Europol and the FBI launched coordinated operations, they managed to dismantle some of the largest dark web networks in history. Hundreds of arrests, thousands of sites shut down. But experts warn, it barely scratched the surface. For every criminal caught, another slipped deeper into anonymity. The architecture of the dark web makes it nearly impossible to destroy completely. It isn't a single place. It's a shadow network, always shifting, always alive. One of the most chilling lessons investigators learned is how ordinary the perpetrators looked when unmasked. A schoolteacher, an IT specialist, even a father of three. These weren't monsters hiding in shadows. They were people who lived among us, shaking hands at church, shopping in grocery aisles. And yet, in secret, they were orchestrating horrors most of us can't even imagine. That duality is what terrifies psychologists most. Survivors who made it out of these networks rarely speak. When they do, their stories echo with trauma. Being watched, sold, controlled like objects. Their lives stolen not just physically, but psychologically. Investigators describe endless frustration. Encrypted servers vanish before raids. Cryptocurrency wallets shuffle money beyond reach. and victims disappear into silence, their cases sealed in the unsolved files of history. Some evidence, however, still lingers in archives. Screenshots, leaked chatlog, fragments of conversations that suggest future crimes may already be in motion. And here lies the most haunting question. How many lives are currently being tracked in real time, listed quietly in forums we can't see? The disturbing truth is we may never know, because the dark web doesn't just hide the past, it conceals the future.